Hi guys. I don't want to make this any longer, just wanted to tell you that at the end I put an important announcement about my channel, so if you're interested then I encourage you to stay. Anyways, I hope you will enjoy this video. Please comment your favorite part if you'll have one, and if you're new on this channel or you're still not subscribing it, then I encourage you to do so. You can also like this video to help me get more recognizability, and this would really help me a lot. Thank you in advance, and I love you all so much. Now let's get on with this video. Enjoy. Fast, before paparazzi will catch us. Izuku didn't even hesitate from grabbing Katsuki's hand in his own. He felt free, like nothing could have stopped him. He didn't even care about flashlights that were blinded his eyes. He didn't even think of the consequences of his actions. He just ran towards first love hotel that he found. It was like a scene from all these romantic movies that he has watched when he was crying over being single. This scene when the main characters are finally falling in love after too many struggles and they are feeling an incredible sexual tension between them. And of course, in most of cases they are on some kind of party or at somebody's birthday together, and when they want to make love, there's no place other than a random love hotel. But what he was always curious about was the cutscene when the character are literally teleporting from place to place, of course without parting their lips. And now he was finally able to feel this, and to know, what are they doing while the camera's not on? What the characters are doing to get to their places so fast and to almost eating each other's faces while entering the house. He, for example, had too much alcohol in his veins, and when he was zoning out about how it feels to be a main character in a movie, he didn't even realize that Katsuki Bakuga has already dragged him to one of the rooms and was now occupying Izuku's lips with kisses. Then he was slowly lowering his kisses down his neck, collarbones, torso, abdomen, and even lower, making Izuku feel things that he won't ever forget. The next morning. To say that Izuku was in pain would be a misunderstanding. His back was hurt. He couldn't properly stand on his own and his beep felt like he won't ever be able to use it. Not that he was using it often and to certain activities. He was also damaged by the alcohol he had drank last night. He didn't even know how many shots they ordered in the end, but he knew that it was too much. He could tell by the thought of what happened and what they did last night. The worst in all of this was probably the fact that they are pretty actually vastly famous, and that this, seemingly innocent, one night could have cost them their careers. After all, media loves drama and tea, just like Mina. Maybe that's why she was working as a journalist. And then it hit him. Mina. He has to talk to her about the girl that the pink-haired girl set him up with. After all, that was a little her fault since she probably knew about Himari's boyfriend. And even though he didn't know that for sure, he still had a hope in his heart that maybe that was all just a big misunderstanding and his friend was just as oblivious as he was at that time. Maybe Mina really did not know that she had a boyfriend. Unfailingly, Izuku hoped so, but could he really? With Mina's huge amount of every dirty secret in this town, could he really hope that she had no idea about Himari's boyfriend? Yeah, the word hope was definitely necessary here. Besides that, if the fact that he and Bakuga spent last night together would actually spread around the internet, he could convince Mina to try to put it down somehow. Because even if media are literally living for gossips and all the dirty secrets, especially when it involved heroes that were meant to be as secret and imperceptible to society as they could, then Mina, known from her persuasion skills, could have done something to repair Izuku's reputation at least a little bit. And he would lie if he said that it wasn't important for him. Of course, being a hero was definitely about helping people, but if you wanted to do it without any problems and with people's support, so that they could trust you and rely on you, you had to have almost immaculate reputation. And that was something that every hero on the planet knew. And yet, he was lying in a bed with his head in his palms, immense headache and naked body. He didn't know what was worse. The fact that he spent this night with a guy or the fact that it was Bakuga. Probably both. He wasn't disgusted because it was a man, but it felt strange as Deku never considered himself as a homosexual person. Not even as a bisexual. So what was that last night? What convinced him that it's a good choice? For now this thought had to be left for another moment, since the only thing that Deku had in mind right now was where were his clothes and how to get out of this hotel without paparazzi behind him and waking up Katsuki Bakuga. Right. Katsuki Bakugo. The guy that not so long ago was calling Izuku his rival. The guy that yesterday seemed like he's about to punch someone. Someone also known as Izuku. The guy that yesterday had discovered that his girlfriend is cheating on him with a person that he hated the most. Maybe the villains were an exception since he hated them to the point where hurting them was his kind of entertainment. But still, he disliked Deku a lot. The guy that was now peacefully lying next to him with one of his hands under a pillow and another one under his head. The sunlight was beautifully falling on Bakugo's face, revealing, not so scary anymore, facial features. His eyes were closed and calm breaths were rising his chest up and down. He was also naked, but when Deku was literally losing his mind, Bakugo remained silent. Maybe because he was still asleep. That's why Deku had to get out of there, as fast as possible. The last thing he wanted right now was facing Bakugo after such an unusual activity. Especially because they were strangers. All of this was just beeped up for Deku. That's why instead of lying in bed he started slowly and quietly looking for his pants and other clothes. Of course his whole body was pretty hurt, what caused him to wince in pain from time to time, but he managed to find everything except his phone. Beep, beep, beep. He cursed quietly under his breath. Where is it? Then he looked around one more time and fixed his gaze on a black device that was lying next to the other man's pants. Gotcha. But when he yelled in happiness he immediately realized that there's a sleeping man in the bed, so when he saw that Bakugo turned on his back, fortunately still sleeping, he cursed quietly one more time and rushed to the door, more like tiptoed. But before leaving he looked at Katsuki one more time. Deku remembered. He was one of the people that are remembering everything from the night they drank, so he remembered how this all happened. Of course, it wasn't as clear as if he was sober, but it wasn't a complete darkness either. He just knew how it happened, why it happened, most of the actions they did. Thanks for. I don't really know what, but thanks. He looked down at his feet and smiled weakly. Even though everything hurts like hell, it was nice, but he stopped when he heard Katsuki yawning and drilling on the bed as if he was waking up. Beep. He didn't even finish. He just rushed out of the hotel room. Then, when he was in the hall, he facepalmed himself when he realized that it was a love hotel. But what was he expecting? Of course it was a love hotel. Yet, he paid for the room in reception and rushed out of the building, already scared of what is going to happen next. Calm down, Izuku. No one has to know about this. No one has to know. With this conviction, he ran down to the station to catch a first ride to his house. He needed to rest and think everything through. Did this night mean something? Or was it just a one-time beep? Probably, but it didn't convince Izuku enough. He definitely had to be 100% sure. After all, his hero career could be in danger. If Bakugo would use this information to somehow harm Izuku's work, he would be over. It's true. Katsuki was hero number 2, which means a lot as well. But hero number 1? He was scared of stultify, the title that his authority All Might was called when Deku was his pupil. He couldn't just mishandle this like it's nothing, and in an addition, just for a sake of meaningless beep. No, in his head it sounded even worse than it was truly, but Izuku wouldn't let himself think differently. After all, it was All Might he was thinking about, not just a random hero. He had to show him that when he gave him One for All, it wasn't a bad decision. On the contrary, with all his deeds, he wanted to show that he could not make a better choice. It was the only right path. At least that's what he thought. After about 15 minutes of sitting on the filthy chair in train while people were giving him strange looks, he finally heard the name of his station. Freaking finally, he said before happily running out of the conveyance to head to his flat. He was running there like crazy, not even realizing that a lot of people were staring at him. After a few minutes, he was finally at his door, happy that he can shower and get things in his head together. When he came in, his flat was looking just like he left it yesterday to go and meet Himari. His deodorant was still lying on the floor, just like when he was leaving and accidentally knocked him off the shelf to get to Himari's house faster. Well, we all know how it ended, but Izuku felt a lot better than yesterday. This night with Katsuki somehow helped him, even though he had no idea how. But when he finally shook his head to throw away bad thoughts, he went to his bathroom. When hot water ran down his body and he started washing off all the grime that he felt on his skin, he started thinking about last night. When he touched his ear, he heard Katsuki's deep voice that was telling him silly things last night. Then he touched his neck, immediately remembering that he has a hickey there. Next spot was his torso. He still felt the heat that was igniting him yesterday to the breaking point where he was letting his lips to release quiet groans. And the last point was his. Suddenly, Izuku went back to his senses when he heard a ringtone. But what surprised him was that the ringtone wasn't sounding like his at all. He turned off the water that was coming from the shower and walked out of it while wrapping a towel around his waist. He quickly went towards the sound of the phone, and when he looked at the screen he realized that it wasn't his phone. Holy beep. What number? Then the realization hit him. Oh no. If I have his phone, then he definitely has to have mine. Holy beep. I have a lot of private informations there. He can't have my phone. That's a disaster. A disaster. He was panicking, but not enough to not be able to check his laptop. He had to contact with his manager. Wait. What am I going to tell him? That I spent night with. He couldn't even say it. He was mad at himself, but then he thought that he's going to play it somehow so that his manager wouldn't know. And then, when he finally opened his laptop and went into emails, there was at least 15 from his boss. Every single one about him, and a man on there was to a love hotel, while holding hands, and some of the people even saw them kissing. That was truly a disaster. Izuku's skin was pale, his eyes wide open. I am so beeped up. And we made it to the end already. I hope you guys liked reading it as much as I like reading your adorable comments. So about the information. So lately I've been thinking about this whole YouTube thing a lot, and I came into a conclusion that I don't really fit in My Hero Academia fandom. And don't get me wrong, I love My Hero Academia, and I think that this is really great anime. Just after this time I realized that it's not exactly what I want, because when I started making these videos, I really loved writing. Actually that didn't change. I still love writing. Especially the fact that I can tell my own story that was created in my brain. But I was also a fresh and huge fan of MHA that time, and it all just clicked like, I wanted to write, but I didn't exactly know what. So I just started making this, and it was so much fun. After a long time it also got really serious and cute at the same time. Like, I started receiving so much love and positivity that it really changed me and my life, until one night when I decided to watch first episode of Haikyuu, and at first it was just another anime. But after some time, I realized that when I am writing my MHA videos I cannot think of anything else than to make it but with Haikyuu characters, and then I also started comparing myself to some of the MHA fans, and I realized how much I am different from them, and how close I am to Haikyuu fandom, and without even realizing it, I already changed fandom and it just doesn't work anymore. I have an impression that my videos are getting boring. I don't feel so much joy while making them. But when I wrote one, not published yet, Haikyuu story, I felt this amazing feeling, the one that I felt when I started making these MHA videos, and I am really sorry to say it, but I think that's what I want to do. I am actually going to stop making MHA videos. I will start making Haikyuu videos, but something that might be a good information for you. I will finish all the series on my channel, and I will publish all the stories that I started writing, so there's about 20 more of them. So for now I'm staying here, because I don't have enough confidence to make a whole new channel just yet. I hope that made you happy and you will forgive me. Anyways, again, please like, subscribe and comment. Thank you for all your support that you're giving me every day, and please check my description if you want. You can find their link to My Hero Academia merch and links to my socials. I love you all and see you next time. Bye.
Are you interested in buying yourself some My Hero Academia merch? Some amazing clothes with your favorite character on it? Like Katsuki Bakudeku, Shouto Todoroki, and Izuku Midoriya. Go click the link in my description box now and get some awesome discounts from 20% up to 65% off. They offer you free worldwide shipping on orders over $39.90. So, what are you waiting for? Link in the description.